co-founded with my husband, who is normally with me, but he is doing something, some training regarding coaching our daughter's soccer team. So I am here solo. I've actually never been solo before on our live stream, so it's a little odd. I have been live solo before, but not for our weekly live stream. But so you guys are joining us on Facebook and YouTube, as well as Twitter. And then we also have our TikTok fam over here to my left. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to read the questions and answer them as well. But as I mentioned, we are immigration attorneys, and we come almost every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer your immigration questions. So if you have questions, I hope you can hear me. And John is, I don't know, he might be driving back from where he's coming from. Hi, babe. It's a little odd not to be doing this with you. I take you for granted because you do all the questions. So we're going to give it our best shot here. Hello, Miss Evelina. So great to see you again. It looks like my internet is a little unstable. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I set it up myself, so I probably missed something. And again, hello to TikTok fam. Before I go on, I want to just make sure that you guys know that what I'm going to be talking to you all about and answering your questions, it is not to be taken as legal advice. This live stream is for informational purposes only. This is not legal advice. And the reason I tell you that is because we have a question, or I have a question and I answer it, but sometimes there's so much more behind the question. Usually there is so much more behind the question, and I'm just giving a general answer, and it's for educational purposes only, not legal advice. Anyhow, let me know if you guys can hear me okay, and that the internet connection, it looks like it's unstable, which is, who else has unstable internet connection in 2022? Who else? Who else has all the things that you need in your house to make your internet connection stable, yet it's not stable? Raise your hand. All right. I'm not complaining. I'm just, making an observation. Miss Evelina has good evening. Miss Evelina, good evening. Alawasola. I hope pronouncing that correctly. Alawasola. And thank you for joining us. But Miss Evelina has a question. She has a question about Citizenship Day. So for those who don't know, we have Citizenship Day coming up. I want to let you guys know today about a date change. Instead of September 17th, we have had to change the date to November the 12th. It's also a Saturday. So Ms. Evelina, if you wanted to volunteer on Citizenship Day, most likely have you as someone to translate, to interpret. You can also seat people, make sure the attorneys and the students who are assisting have, pens and things that they need, or if they need anything, you could also just help people get to where they need to go with our citizenship. So there are all kinds of things. I do like to, reach out to the communities to get volunteers. And since you're here and you love Citizenship Day, why not? You should. All right, let's see here. I don't have any questions on the Facebook live stream, but for those of you asking questions on TikTok, you may think about coming to Facebook because it's easier for me to see the question. It's super hard for me to see the question on the TikTok screen just because it's my phone and the eyes. All right. So let's see. Jamie has a question here, which is a really good question. Jamie said, is there any pros and cons of having an immigration lawyer in person versus online/long distance? So probably, 5 or 6 years ago, I might have said, Yeah, I mean, you want to go into your lawyer's office, you want to talk to your attorney, and maybe you want to go drop some stuff off. Maybe you like having that convenience of having an attorney, right there in your backyard. Now, especially post COVID, I don't believe that there is a huge difference in having an attorney where you can actually see the attorney in person. Um, and the reason I say that is because we have been doing that for three years now. I mean, it's going on 3 years. So, as an immigration law firm, we are already used to doing video chat, preparing our clients for an interview through video because they're in the Philippines, they're in Mexico, they're in different countries, so we can't talk to them in person. So as an immigration law firm, and immigration attorneys and immigration law firms have had this experience, we are used to handling cases virtually and remotely, e-filing, DocuSign, just our immigration software platform. So hopefully that answers your question, Jamie. Now, actually it was just yesterday, and I was talking to a potential client who actually reached out to me via TikTok, and it was their second time talking to me, and it was a different issue, and it was about filing for citizenship. And I recommended to her that she have an attorney present at her interview, to go to her interview with her. And we decided that she decided that she wanted to just hire the attorney to go with her to interview. And of course that's a big difference. So hopefully that answers your question, Amy. But there should not be a huge difference between hiring an attorney that's not right in your backyard versus hiring an attorney that's across the country. We have a lot of clients. I'm on the East Coast, and we have a lot of clients on the West Coast, and there's no big huge difference because, number one, people are they just prefer now to do their cases just by phone, by video chat. It saves a lot of time, and we can get it done the same exact way. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna go hop over here. See, I have to do everything. So it's it is tricky. All right. Let me go here. Let me see if I can. All right. Here, I'm going to grab a question on TikTok, and I know that this is a bit of a challenge. My 11-year-old was begging me to let me have her read the questions. And I was like, no, you cannot read the questions. All right. Let's see here. Loud and clear. So MacBella99 says, how many months can we stay outside of the United States with the I551 stamp? The I551 stamp is essentially your proof that you are a lawful permanent resident. So it's like having it's basically your lawful permanent resident status. So it's like having the green card, and I don't recommend that my clients stay outside of the United States for over 6 months with their green card, with the I-551 stamp, just because we don't want USCIS to say, hey, you abandoned your green card when you come back in. So I would say not more than 6 months. If you have to, then I would really seriously consider applying for a re-entry permit. The instructions on the re-entry permit say, if over a year, but you can still apply it if it's over six months. All right. Hopefully that answers your question. Jason says, I did not move, but my parents moved. Do I need to change their address for the I-130? I changed it for their I-485. So that's a really good question. You are the petitioner, so I would not change the address of the I-130, but I would, as you did, change it on their green card application. All right. Let's see here. We're just gonna answer these questions just left and right. Kimberly says, beautiful wedding photo. Kimberly says, can husband submit his citizenship a year early? We got married December and he had his green card since 2018. So let's see. The question, I believe, Kimberly, is can your husband or U.S. citizenship? And it depends on, he's had his green card for at least 3 years. The question is, has he lived with and been married to you for at least years? And have you been a U.S. citizen for at least 3 years? Those are questions to ask. And if you can say yes to all those questions, then he most likely can apply early. Now, again, these are one of those circumstances where, you know, I'm getting a very small snippet of what you're asking, and maybe there's something else that I don't know, right, about this scenario. So it would be best, Kimberly, to, you know, come make an appointment with us just so we can be sure. You don't want to file early and then have the application rejected, because that just, right? So come talk to us, and we can be about, you know, this is the right time for you to apply. And since we're on the topic of appointments and consultation, we charge $200 for the consultation. Is going to be virtual, your inner backyard, or whether you're, you know, in San Francisco or in the Philippines or wherever you are, it's going to be virtual. We're only offering initial appointments right now. The fee is $275, and at that consultation, we will, you know, get the facts of the case and you know, immigration history, if there is, find out, you know, what's your goal, what you want to do, and lay out a roadmap of best possible scenario are. So the consultations are extremely helpful. I always ask at the end of every consultation whether it was helpful. Did I answer your question? Always I ask. And that's because I want to make sure that, you know, we're providing value and my team is providing value to you guys for this consultation. So please, if you need some help, you can reach out to us, throw our contact information up on the banner there. But for y'all to talk, our phone number is 757-664-9224. And I know some of you guys are thinking like, wow, that's really old school. She's just shout a phone number. That is, you can call us 757-464-9224. And during our regular office hours, which are 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, a live person will answer the phone. So you can also shoot us an email at gmlaw.net. And if you're on Facebook, you can shoot a message through Messenger. So several ways to get in contact. We'd love to help you with things that immigration help that you need. All right. Let's see here. Michael says, at what point can we sue the USCIS for these crazy delays? You know, it really depends on a case-by-case basis. I spoke with someone a couple of days ago filing a lawsuit, and, you know, the simple I-130 petition filed by a U.S. citizen for their spouse pending 3 years. That's a time to sue, in my opinion. You know, he's tried to them. He's answered their questions. he's made freeze, every 30, every 60 days. It's just, I, try to stay cool during my consultations, but I actually was just very upset about these particular set of facts because I mean he's not with his family for all this time, and there just is no end in sight, right? Like they're not answering him. Send him something last year. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I think we have to take a look at it, Michael, on a case by case basis, and make that determination and see what the applicant has done in order to inquire about their case. In this particular case, I mean, something is just wrong, right? In that particular case. And there are these types of delays like that. Oftentimes we have to shake it a little bit with a lawsuit in order to get them to pay attention. So really, really great. All right, let me see over here. So Jen says, to renew my green card, I have a misdemeanor and need to hire a lawyer. Absolutely have an attorney take a look at what your criminal record is before you do anything with your green card. I don't think I have to say any more than that. I like to just talking the same thing and say it over and over again. But in this case, yes, you should contact an immigration attorney. Feel free to contact us, and we would take a look at what that record was. Is there any kind of problem or jeopardize losing your green card because of something like this? Absolutely, it's very important. All right, let's see. Attorney, can my mom come back here in the United States if she overstayed here last year? It really depends on how long she overstayed, right? For just a couple of days, maybe she'll still be able to enter in on her B1, B2, and they're not going to give too much of a hassle. If she overstayed for more than 180 days, then she's going to have a 3-year bar. If she overstayed more than a year, she's going to have a 10-year bar. So again, it depends. Is she on a tourist visa? Was she a permanent resident? I mean, it sounds like she's on some type of tourist visa or some type of non-immigrant visa, since you're talking about overstaying. So, again, with those set of facts, you really need to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to kind of analyze it and just make sure that, she's all good, or does she even bother trying to come back in on her tourist visa if they're going to say, oh, sorry, ma'am, you're going to have to turn around. You are subject to the 3-year bar, the 10-year bar. That would be a horrible scenario for your mom. Great question, though. All right, moving right along here. And I will say, these are really good questions. It's definitely not fun without my husband sitting next to me doing this. So I miss you, babe. Wish you were here. I like it when he reads the questions, because then I can sort of think about the questions well. All right. Jonathan from YouTube applied for 30 adjustment of status work permit at the NBC Field Office Norfolk, F2A category back in January. What is a common timeline for adjustment of status cases in Norfolk currently? So I believe I just took a look at Norfolk adjustment of status cases, and it's just, I'm going to just check really quick. So guys, while I'm doing this, I'm going to just tell you how processing times. USCIS processing times, and this is not exact science, but it's something. So this person is asking about checking on the I-485, the green card application. I believe that's what F2A category, which is the spouse or child under 21 of a lawful permanent resident. And so I just Googled processing times, popped right up for me. They're gonna 4 boxes there. This box is going to say form. So I'm clicking I-4, and then the form category. Is this an employment-based application? No, it's a family-based application. So you're going to go ahead and click family-based application. And then the field office. So the is in Norfolk, Virginia, which is the field office in my office, where our office is located. But there are a bunch of them, right? There's New York City, there's Reno, there's Sacramento, there's Salt Lake City, Utah. So whichever one is yours. So click on that, and then we click on the last box that says get processing times. Following me and maybe going along with me, maybe writing this down so you can check it yourself. Get processing times, and 80% went for USCIS in Norfolk. 80% of cases are completed within 2 months. So that means your case could be shorter. That would be awesome. But it also means that it could be longer than 20 months because percent of these cases are completed within 20 months. And this is how these time frames for all these field offices, when they're saying 80% of cases are completed within a certain amount of time. So I hope that answers your question in regard to how long it's taking for Norfolk to process these types of cases. But it was a really great question, and I kind of go through that. Let me know if that helped, Jonathan. All right. Jamie, and I put Jamie's question up here. Are you still taking on clients? Have a consultation? Yes, we are taking clients. And if you want to book a consultation, you can give us a call at 757-464-9224. Jamie, we would be help you. Or you can send us a message through Messenger. You're already on Facebook. We have Ria, who responds to our Messenger messages, and then someone from our office will get in contact with you and set that appointment. All right. Sergio says, I'm going to, I think, Sergio, you're saying, I'm going to marry my Filipino girlfriend in the Philippines. Once we get married, what would I need to do once I'm back in the States? So Sergio is basically asked about the step, and hopefully this will help here who's listening about the steps of petitioning for a spouse, and what that process looks like. So Sergio, get back from married or your girlfriend in the Philippines, have your marriage certificate due, and you have to file the very step, guys, everybody here, listen up. The very first step is you have to file the I-130 petition. So this is for the spouse of maybe Sergio is a U.S. citizen, maybe Sergio is a lawful permanent resident, not just for spouses, but it's for family members that you are eligible to petition for. It starts off with an I-130, filing that I-130 petition. The I-130 petition is going to go to one of the service centers. And I looked at service center processing times. They're much better than what they were a few months ago. But let's just say in Nebraska, I can't remember. I just looked at them yesterday. I can't remember off the top of my head what Nebraska was. Say it was 11 and a half months. So petition is filed. It goes to one of the service centers. Yours, let's just say yours goes to Nebraska. You're just going to wait. You're just going to be sitting and waiting for 11 months. Nothing is going to happen. During those 11 and a half months, you're just going to be waiting for USCIS approve that I-130 petition. All right. USCIS approves the I-130 petition. The case is then transferred to the National Visa Center. National Visa Center is a clearinghouse where you upload all your documents, so they get all the documents together in order to prepare the case for an immigrant visa interview. So that transfer, a couple months before USCIS, it gets to National Visa Center, then you'll get notified by the National Visa Center, hey, with your case, you need to pay your fee bills. The fee at the National Visa Center is $445. The fee to file the I-130 petition is $535. So you pay the fees, you start all of your documents, including an affidavit of support, your tax returns, your W-2s, your most recent tax return, your biographic passport, photos. There's a bunch of things that have to get uploaded to the National Visa Center. And once they have everything, let's just say you did everything perfectly, they have everything, they'll send you application and say, hey, we have everything that we need. And it typically is taking right now about 12 weeks, so 3 to 4 months. The National Visa Center. Okay, that's step 2. Final step. The final step is National Visa Center send your case over to U.S. Embassy in Manila. Your wife will then have to get her medical done, and then the interview, of course. And she'll go to her interview and hopefully issue the immigrant visa. That's the step. She enters the United States once she gets her immigrant visa, enters the States, and around this process, she can do it after she gets her visa. She can do it after she enters the United States, but you will then have to pay her $220 to get a physical green card. It's the USCIS immigrant fee. So those are the steps in a nutshell, Sergio. Hopefully that helped you and else who might be going through this process. And again, this is not just for the spouse. This is for you are petitioning for, a child, or a sibling. But if petitioning for a sibling, of course, it's going to take much longer for a visa to become available. Spouses of U.S. citizens, I don't know if Sergio is a U.S. citizen, they are immediate relatives, and therefore there is no wait for a visa. A visa is always available. All right. Let's see here. Bashi says, I've been waiting 2 years to remove my conditions on the green card and 1 year for naturalization. Yes, that is unfortunately you have to do. Those of you who have your 2-year green card and who have filed, or maybe you're getting to file the I-751, remove the conditions on the green card, just know that you're in for kind of a long wait there. It's a long time. That doesn't anything wrong with your case, but the 751's historically always taken longer than other types of cases. So don't worry if your case, file your 751 and it's like months and still no answer. You're fine. I mean, they're giving extension letters for 24 months now. So that's just goes to show you how long USCIS is taking to adjudicate 751. Now, here is the $1 million tip. Again, it's not legal advice, it's just a tip. Make sure that when it's time for you to apply for citizenship, even though your 751 has not been approved yet, if it's time to apply for citizenship, go ahead and file 400. Okay? There was a big noise downstairs in my house. I wonder what that. All right. Hopefully, well, you didn't ask a question, Mbashi, but you're just making a statement. I wanted to, add that, my 2 cents about that. Let's see here. Martha Rizzo, she says, what does it mean of I-512L when we went to El Salvador on the side? Pearl stamp was July 20 to TPS July 11, 2023. So I think that's just the stamp code that they have for getting paroled in. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I think that is just I've seen that before. That is just the stamp. you can shoot over a copy of it through Messenger so we can take a look at it. Don't put it in the comments though, because it's personal information, but you can send us a picture of it through Messenger to confirm. All right. So, else question. I am confused. My husband petitioned his stepchildren. He's a U.S. citizen. My question is, are we in the F1 category in the visa bulletin? Thank you so much for effort and time. So you're very welcome, Meryl. It depends on how old your child is, number one. So the specific question is, dad has petitioned for his stepchildren, right? What are the kids? Are they under 21? If 21, then they are not going to be in the category. Category are is for the unmarried children of U.S. citizens over 21. So we were talking about immediate relatives a little bit earlier, and unmarried children under the age of 21 are also immediate relatives of U.S. citizens. So, well, I should say they're immediate relatives. So unmarried children under the age of 21 fall under the immediates if the U.S. citizen is petitioning, of course, and therefore they're not going to be in the visa bulletin. They're not listed on the visa bulletin. So hopefully that answers your question. The other thing about this particular scenario, guys, if you have a step parent situation, is if you have to get married before the children turn 18 in order for your in order for your spouse to petition for his stepchildren. That makes sense. So my in shiny armor has just arrived. Are you gonna read my question for me?
Read your questions.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. You're the best. Like,
what are you doing out there?
He could have absolutely just stayed downstairs and waited. What a great guy.
Sorry, I'm late. You were doing great though. I was watching you. I think maybe you should do it by yourself every day.
No, my voice is getting a little rough here, but well, hopefully that answers your question. Just let me know if you have anything else to add to that. But yeah, not an F1 if the kid under 21. All right. Let's see. We do have a lot of comments. Meryl needs to know if there's anything we can do to speed up pace. Unfortunately, not unless you can fall under the expedited category. How's the lighting in here? Is it weird?
It's very bright. But that's because I just came from outside, so that could be part of it.
All right. Let's grab Inez. Is it possible for a 10-year green card holder citizen spouse? Is it possible to 10-year holder with the U.S. spouse?
Yes.
To have their parents visit their new grandchild. So your parents would independently file for a tourist visa, and they are able to say, yes, I'm going to the United States to visit my daughter and our new grandchild. That can be the reason for them to. So yeah, they would have to file for the tourist visa, apply for the tourist visa, and use that reason. One of the common misconceptions is that you, Inez, can apply for the tourist visa for your parents. Right. They have to apply for it themselves. So I hope that answered your question. Congratulations on the new baby. That's so exciting. Yeah. I hope your parents to see the baby here. They have to apply now. It's taking a really long time depending on where they are. So please have them apply for that tourist visa now. And there may be circumstances. They may not have a chance at getting the tourist visa, but I still think it's worth applying for, especially the grandchild. And as if your parents do not get the tourist visa, you have in your green card, you're probably eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship. Maybe you can apply for U.S. citizenship and convince your parents to immigrate to the United States based on petition that you file for them. So remember, guys, only U.S. citizens can petition for their parents' lawful permanent residence. You have to wait until you become a petition for your parent if you are a lawful resident. All right. Sergio says, question, the answer, yay. All right. So, good luck with the wedding. Hopefully it's awesome. Sergio's going to the Philippines to get married.
Oh, awesome. Have a nice wedding.
It's going to be wonderful and it's going to be hot.
Very.
You're going to have to wear a barong probably. Oof, itchy and hot.
And then my mom. Hi, Mama.
Hi, Mama. All right. Do you want to grab a question?
Yeah,
there?
Sure. I don't know where you were.
Sorry, the light's so bright.
This is
so dark.
So Aja.go wants to know, or AJ.go wants to know, my son had an expired immigrant visa. What do we need to do? He was not able to use it for some reason.
Okay. Expired immigrant visa. What should we do with an expired visa?
Yeah.
You know, you may have to pay fees. I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure about the answer to that question. Reach out to us.
Yeah, he's not used it for some reason. I'm not sure what that question means.
Well, if it's expired, he didn't travel in time to use it. So I'm just thinking, like, do we have to go through the I don't know. I would have to take a look at that. I don't know off the top. Just because my clients use their visas. I think if you hire an immigration lawyer to help you with your case, then you're on immigrant visa. But sometimes the scenario is happens. Like, why didn't you come? Because maybe something happened. Maybe son was in love and had a girlfriend and didn't want to come, but now wants to come now.
I was missing that. That's exactly what happened here. He must have not used it for some minute. Okay, Hope May 4321 wants to know, I'm filing adjustment of status for my wife in the United States and stepkids in another country. Okay, should all 30s go to the same place? That's a good question.
Yeah, we have a fundamental problem here. Who asked the question?
That was May 4321.
Okay. Hope May. Listen, if you're asking that, let me see the question again.
Right here. Filing adjustment status for wife in the U.S.
Are we talking about all the I-wordies? Okay, I'm not gonna get on a Hope. I don't really. I'm not gonna get on a Hope. So I was gonna tell Hope that asking that question, you really need some. But I'm not sure if Hope is looping his or her wife into the question. So let's just assume we're talking about all the kids, stepkids, I-130s, all go to the same place. Yes, they all get mailed to the same place. However, no, wife's is a completely different process. And I think Hope knows that, right? Does Hope know that? If you don't know that, then I will go through this and with you. But my recommendation is give us a call. Let us help. This is a really important process for the stepchildren, for your stepchildren, for your spouse, and you don't want to make the mistake of filing the I-130 petition on its own for your wife. That would be good. It would delay things tremendously. All right.
Okay, we've got a question here. This one we would need a lot more information, not just an answer. It says, how long do people have to be here from Greece to be legal in the U.S.? Is it 5 years? And that would depend on, I mean, how you entered, a a lot of other factors we would need to know there. I'm not sure. No set rule that if you come from Greece and you come to the United States after some amount of years, you become legal.
Right. Maybe they're about citizenship.
Yeah, probably.
So,
but we would need more information. User 7070. Sorry about that.
Okay, Max has a good question here. Max King Ivan Cruz. What a great name, Max King.
Oh, Max is out on the beach there somewhere. Nice.
I can't see; it's too bright.
Absolutely. Is that,
should there be lights behind us? Anyway, see, it's just very nice to have you on Facebook Live.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm late.
Welcome, welcome to Facebook Live.
No, you
guys, reintroduction. I'm Radlin Mendoza, and this is my husband and law partner, John Gardner, who has just joined us. He came from another meeting that he's had to take because he's coaching our daughter's soccer. And we've been doing our live stream for over 2 years now.
That's right. And we come to you every Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
I'm just grateful that he's here.
Updates,
just grateful that
importantly, to answer your questions. If you have your questions, get them in the queue here, and we'll get to them.
He's like this is the beginning, even though we only have 18 more minutes. But no, but thank you guys all for all these questions.
Yeah,
these questions are helping other people too when I answer them. So
no question about it.
Okay, Mac King Ivan Cruz. Hi, do I still enter in the USA with an expired green card, but out of the country for almost 3 years? Max, you have to be really careful about this because they may have abandoned your green card at the port entry. So my recommendation is to give us a call. Let's have a strategy as to how, why were you out 3 years? Yes. Do you have documentation? Can we just come in, or do we need to apply as a returning resident? So there are a lot of things going on, and I really, really give us a call so we can kind of and help you in the best way possible. Again, our contact information is 757-464-94. Y'all on TikTok, please do not offer the scams on my TikTok page, which is Telegram or WhatsApp, or so many scammers on my page trying to basically take your money and leave you high and dry. So just be really careful. I've seen some of the things we've sent because people have emailed us and like, oh my gosh, this is not you. That is right. This is not me. And the things, it sounds good. First couple of things that these scammers start to say, like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. But then the more I was reading, it's like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So please be careful on TikTok. It's the wild out there. All right. Let's see here.
All right, do you want to take a question from TikTok?
No, go for it. Yeah.
So this is a question. Is it okay to file for citizenship even though undocumented husband is living with me?
So concern here is harboring, quote unquote, illegal, right? I think that's what the heart of the concern is.
Yeah, and then they wanted to know if they would put in the spouse information in the N400.
So if I'll tell you what we put. We put, Mexican citizen or Filipino citizen. We don't put undocumented. And I will say that in the, is it 22? Yeah. In the 24 years that I've done naturalizations, this is not an issue. Now, could the tides turn tomorrow when you apply and do this, and it could be a difficult? Absolutely. But from my experience of representing clients for 24 years with N400s, the status of the spouse has not really come into play during the interview. So if, let's just say I'm sitting next to you at your interview and it came up like, oh, okay, your spouse is a citizen who overstayed, your spouse is a Mexican citizen who without inspection and is undocumented. What's going on with that? Right? You can say we are in the process of the I-130 petition, and as soon as I become a U.S. citizen, we're going to do adjustment of status if we can adjustment of status. If we can't, or maybe we're working through provisional waiver. I mean, it has never come up, but that's what I have always counseled my client about their spouse if it ever came up. But my clients always have that question as well.
Yeah, and Millie's MC is with us from New York. Says love watching. We love having you watch it.
Yes,
we love New York.
Thank you. See, it's so much more if John comes on. Right? Okay,
I know, you were doing great. I was
no.
It's you really don't need her. I'm just sort of a sidekick.
All in no play. Let's see here. Inez says, I'm USA for 2 years and 6 months. Do I need to wait to apply for citizenship? I can't see. Is Inez married to a USA? I can't remember. Yeah, you have the US. Is Inez the US citizen spouse?
10-year green card.
Okay, gotcha. So you have your green card, but you've only been in the United States for 2 years and 6 months. I'm a little confused about that. I will just kind of go over the rule about applying for U.S. citizenship as far as, being a lawful permanent resident. If you are married to a U.S. citizen, have been living with the U.S. citizen for at least three years, married to and living with the U.S. citizen for at least 3 years, and the U.S. citizen has been a U.S. citizen for at least 3 years, you can apply at the 3-year mark, minus 90 days, because you can apply 90 days early. If that scenario does not apply to you, maybe you got your green card parent, maybe you got it through employment, then you have your lawful permanent resident for 5 years, minus 90 days, because you can apply 90 days early, so 4 years and months. Now, I know that early kind of makes people all confused, but wait the full 5 then if that makes you confused. But you can subtract 90 days and apply 90 days early, right?
Okay, here's a question I get once a week. So let's go and hit it.
We already got it. Because look, processing times.
No, it's more general than that. Okay. So I want to start filing for my girlfriend who lives in the Philippines. What is your recommendation? So we see this every week. We've got somebody here from the Philippines, and they are going to get married. I'm just filling in some of the extras that normally come up. The questions always are, should I go over there and get paid and then or should I start a fiance visa here? Should I try to have her come how? And then once she's here, we get married here and then process. What are the options?
Yeah. So those are the options that you just mentioned. The option is to do the fiance visa. And the biggest detriment of the fiance visa to me is your spouses, once they get here on fiance visa, they are not going to be able to work or travel for at least 8 months until they get their permit and their travel permit. So that's kind of a little bit of an issue sometimes for people. The other issue that I have with the fiance visa is that once your fiance gets here and after you guys get married within the 90 days, then you have to again file for the green card. It's a whole different another process. It's another process that not get done for another 2 years. So you're talking about waiting for a fiance visa to get approved and have an interview, which is taking like for a year and a half now. And then once they get here, then have to do the green card process, taking in our area 20 months. So we're already now at 3 years. So maybe the better route, again, depending on what the issue is to get married and do the immigrant visa. Again, I can't tell you that that's what you should do without speaking to your fiance, what your goals are, what you want to do, and it's on a case basis. Sometimes I recommend a couple doing the fiance visa. Sometimes we recommend getting married and doing the immigrant. Hopefully that helped. It's tough. As I mentioned before, offering consultations and consultation, you can ask us these questions. We'll go through a particular fact pattern. We'll find out what your goals are. We'll give you a timeline of what some of the processes are. And you will definitely leave consultation with all of your questions answered. And we charge $275 consultation. And if you hire us to do the work, we will apply it to your credit it to your account. So book a consultation.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. Cases are very fact specific, and what we're doing here is fielding questions with literally a snippet of information. Radlin is taking that snippet of information, hypothetical, and then give you her best guess at an answer based on very limited information that you're providing. And so you really could make a consultation, schedule a consultation. You can have a full set of facts that we can analyze, and then she can give you actual advice about a case that's based on all of the facts, not just some of the facts, because what she says is correct here, but there could be things that we don't know, facts that are missing that are very important.
Yeah.
That may change her answer. You know them. And so it's impossible to do an analysis without a full consultation. That's just the way it is. All right.
Let's see here. Alfonsina says, how long do you think migration will resolve a case of political asylum? People have work permits, but we don't know if one day they will receive a green card. So Alfonsina, yes, it is taking a really long time for asylum cases to go to an interview. They are severely backlogged. We do limited cases, the ones that we have. One's been pending over 5 years. I know for sure they've been pending for over 3. So hang in there. Is that a raccoon? The dog. Anyway, it's a long time. I mean, it's one day you will get the green. I mean, you have to get the asylum status first before getting that. So, thankfully you have the work permits, but they do take a long time. All right.
Okay, a question over here was, can I apply for citizenship even if I misdemeanor on my record? That's a good question.
Possibly. It depends on what the misdemeanor was. It depends on when the misdemeanor occurred.
Yep.
And it depends on if you have a bunch of misdemeanors. Right? So, possibly.
So here's another example of a situation where if you have a criminal record, you really need to have an immigration attorney analyze that before you make any moves, because sometimes you can make a misstep, not realizing that you're doing it.
Yeah.
So if you do, I think everybody should use an immigration lawyer, of course. If you have a criminal record, especially to be consulting with an immigration lawyer to do your immigration case, any kind of immigration case, when you have a criminal record, I think is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. And guys, look, here's the thing, especially with citizenship. I don't think people guys, the questions on the N400, they may seem very straightforward. Okay. Have you been arrested, cited, indicted, charged, imprisoned in law? A lot in that question. And if you think that you can not put down an arrest because nothing ever did, you would be extremely wrong about that. And you will have a case denied for not being of good moral character because you lied and didn't list the arrest. Even something small as a traffic ticket. Here's another scary thing that I mentioned on one of our immigration lawyer Facebook groups. Yeah, I have our little immigration lawyer Facebook group, just like you guys have all of your groups. But it was Margaret Stock, and she warned all the attorneys on the page. And I've actually been fortunate enough to share the stage with Margaret Stock. She's an attorney in Alaska, and she is a wonderful attorney and advocate for especially military applying for citizenship and going through the immigration process. Anyway, I give her all the credit for this because she's the one that posted it. She said that she no client, but somebody did not list on the group's question, have you ever been a member of a group on the N400? Guys, listen up. Didn't list Facebook as a social group. Instagram, their social media accounts. We have never put these down, right? And the officer was giving the client a hard time for not listing these groups. So this is what we have to deal with, And if you have your lawyer sitting there next to you, and this comes up, and why didn't you put your social group, your Facebook group? We can help with that. We can help with the answer, right? We can help with telling you to answer the question. Are you a member of any social groups, right? Maybe the client is maybe the officer is asking about Facebook. So I know that information now, right? Because one of my colleagues put it in a group. You know who doesn't know that information? Well, you know it now if you're here on this call. Your average N400 filer.
Yep.
If you're going to get some officer, I was going to say something.
Yeah, I felt it coming, and then it didn't.
If you're going to get an officer who wants this on the application, you could actually have your case denied, and that's really scary. And maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care that you've had your application denied. You're like, well, I'll just apply next time. But you can't apply for another 5 years if they say you are not a person of good moral character. You have to wait 5 years. And what if you want to apply for your parents, right? Or your spouse? You can't wait 5 years to apply. I mean, you can, but it's going to be terrible. So, all right, that's enough on that. I don't even know what the question was.
Well, it was about having a misdemeanor. We started out with having a misdemeanor.
Yeah. Oh man.
You have a misdemeanor on your record, whatever immigration process you're starting.
Yeah.
You need to be extra careful. You really do.
Yes, and you do need to put traffic infractions on the N400 application. If you forget about it, you should absolutely make sure you tell the officer at the time of the interview that you had a traffic ticket. If they ask you 10 times whether you had any traffic tickets. So just be careful, guys. It can be really tricky on the N400. Again, it's seemingly really a straightforward thing. Not only that, I'm just going to mention this one last thing. When you're applying for citizenship, your previous record, right? Whatever you put on your green card application, that's what you should be putting on your N400. Like if you put that you had a theft charge that got dismissed on your LPR, your green card application, that better be on the N400 application. Mm-hmm. If you applied for asylum and the basis of your asylum was because I was being persecuted because of being a part of this group. Well, that group better be on the N400. So again, your whole immigration file is going to be reflected on by the immigration officer. It is not just that N400 application sitting in front of them. Anyway, all right.
All right, we're just over an hour. If you could just comment briefly, because there was several questions about here. This will be the last one because we're out of time.
Okay.
But got people interested in petitioning for a sibling from the Philippines to bring them to the United States. But you let us know who would be able to do that and what's the time frame.
Pause there, little one. Our youngest daughter is coming to say that it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We are aware that it's not. We asked this question.
She's
our timekeeper. She's our timekeeper. Ray was she was gonna read all these questions. She's gonna sit in her seat. Okay, so the question that we have here on TikTok, thank you for asking this question,
comes up a lot.
Yeah, it comes up a lot. You are a U.S. citizen and you want to file for your sibling. Really quickly, you have to be a U.S. citizen in order to file for your sibling. Lawful permanent residents cannot file for their siblings. All right.
Okay,
how long? That's the first part. How long is it going to take? So here we got to take a look at the visa bulletin, and the sibling category, which is a fourth preference category, takes a really long time. And when I say really long time, it's like 20 years. It's 20 years. The visa bulletin. Let me just look at the September visa bulletin just to get you. And the person who's asking this question, just fell out of her chair when I said 20 years to bring your siblings here. But I have to say that, yeah, it's 20 years. I have to say that the time does eventually come, and don't lose hope. File the petition.
Don't not do it because it's going to take a long time.
Just do it.
Do it, and then that time will eventually arrive.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is 20 years for the Philippines on the visa bulletin, which means it's going to take 20 years for a visa to become available. But the date that you file that petition is your priority date. And it goes from that date. So the sooner that the more that you procrastinate and wait, let's just say, oh my gosh, Radlin and John said 20 years. I'm not filing that. And then 5 years later, you're like, I should probably file that. You just wasted 5 years.
Yeah, you lost those 5 years. So make sure if you're going to do it, and you should do it now.
Right. Absolutely. All right.
Okay. We are.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for joining us.
my husband
Sorry,
for joining.
That
was awesome. But thank you guys so much for your questions. We will be back next Wednesday.
Yep, we'll see you next week. All right. All right. Take care, folks.
Two thumbs up.
Two thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.